Coming up on this week's episode of SVG Motors Weekly. So let's go inside. We want to see the inside of this Dayton Masonic Temple. This is a historic building. I'm excited. Let's go.
Okay, but before we get started, yes, I've been told the place is haunted. Is that?
There's a guy that works for us, Anthony. Come on up here, Anthony. Anthony comes in and Anthony has a dubious task of taking these vehicles. So, you know, somebody come up here and sing. We can do move you up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move you up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Oh man, this is cool.
So, yeah, very cool.
What'd you think of my song?
It's awesome.
Okay, good.
To improve my gas mileage, but there's got to be another way to get better gas mileage.
Well, there's also a few other things you can do.
Need a car, need it bad, need something better than what you had. Not sure what you want or where to go. Well, there's one place that you need to know. SVG is the place for me, where you get superior value guaranteed.
All right, I'm out here at the Dayton Masonic Temple. I know everybody has seen this. I've driven by it. It's an amazing facility. I'm so excited because I've not been inside yet, but I want to take a look at it. But we are sponsoring the festival on the hill. It's Dayton Summer Fun Fest. The weather has been gorgeous. Love it. But at the end of June, 22nd, 23rd, there's going to be music, drinks, fun. This whole area out here, this grass area out here is where they're going to set up. They're going to have a concert set up right here. All these different levels, food trucks. So let's go inside. We want to see the inside of this Dayton Masonic Temple. This is a historic building. I'm excited. Let's go. All right, we're live out here at the Dayton Masonic Center. So excited. This is actually double live because we're shooting. Show them the camera behind you. Yeah, so Steve Clark's with me. We're shooting this tour of the Dayton Masonic Temple. So I'm excited. We're going to go in here and find Randy Clark. He's going to give us a tour. So pumped up about that. Hey, Randy.
Steve, hi, nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I want to see what all the hubbub's about.
Okay.
But before we get started,
Yes,
I've been told the place is haunted. Is that?
it is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I don't do scary movies and things like that, so.
And I've never experienced it myself, but lots of other people have.
But that's what they say. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, right away, this is beautiful little marble.
Yeah, this was built in the 1920s. All of this marble was carted in by train and truck.
Wow.
And all this here is original here in Milwaukee. So
Amazing.
almost 100 years old. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So where are we going?
Let's go to the auditorium.
Okay. Well, thanks for everybody coming out. I know this is right in the middle of the day, and this is kind of a surprise, but I don't get a chance to do this very often. I'd like to find more time to be able to do these kind of things, recognizing some individual efforts all of you guys do big things from time to time, step out of your way to go and help a customer or help another employee. You know, we see it all the time, and this was a special occurrence where we had an individual. I buy cars online at Odessa, and a lot of times I'm buying cars that we've never even looked at, and I'm basing my buying decision on this particular car has a sunroof, navigation, leather, heated seats, all this good stuff. And you know, as you know, we buy 30, 40 cars a week. That's a lot of cars, and there's a guy that works for us, Anthony. Come on up here, Anthony. Anthony comes in, and Anthony has a dubious task of taking these vehicles, which is very time consuming, and it's not very rewarding. It's not exciting. It's you know, those of us that sell cars, we have a good time. You know, we have fun with our customers. He gets to sit in front of a computer and make sure this car has this option, that option, so the car shows up online correctly. Well, he caught a vehicle that we got that online said the car had what was the option? Sunroof. And the vehicle did not have a sunroof. So he went ahead and called Odessa and said, hey, there's a problem here. You guys said this car has a sunroof. It doesn't have a sunroof, just letting you know. And as a result, Odessa cut us a check back for $800 towards that vehicle because it didn't have a sunroof. If they didn't, so here's the check I got from Odessa for $800, and here's a check to you for $100 for finding that for us. Thank you very much. Yes. Guys, anybody want to say anything about it? I know you guys see him walk around. He doesn't say a whole heck of a lot, but any notes? Anybody want to say anything or comment on Anthony? There you go. Thank you, Anthony. You make all of our jobs a lot easier, you know, because a lot of our customers don't show up here unless the vehicle has exactly what they want on it. And he's managing these photos and seeing that happens, working closely with Jonah and Kevin and Steve Clark. So anyway, thanks guys for coming together. I know you're right in the middle of doing stuff, but I thought this was worthwhile. So thanks again. Give it up for Anthony. All right, get back to work. So do you have a favorite room?
Yeah. And when we get there, I'll tell you.
Okay. All right.
This is
Holy smokes!
So this is the Masonic Auditorium.
This is my favorite room.
Oh, we've only seen one.
Oh, well, could it get any better?
Yeah. So
This is unbelievable.
So this is one of the largest auditoriums in the whole city. It's like the second or third largest. It's the second largest that's rentable. 1,500 seats up there and
1,500.
a couple hundred more on the floor. We can do about 1,800 people if you put them on the floor. And a stage with over 100 backdrops.
So, you know, somebody can come up here and sing. We can do move you up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move you up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Oh man, this is cool.
So, yeah, very cool.
What do you think of my song?
It's awesome.
Okay, good.
Better than anything I could come up with. I think I've heard that before.
Have you heard that one before? We've been playing it.
Yeah, I've heard it.
We've been playing it, yeah. Wow, this is an amazing room. Well, there's only 250 rooms.
Correct. There's only 250, so if we go to them all, we'll be here all day.
Why don't we skip the haunted rooms? Let's just skip those.
Actually, that's probably one of the only rooms that's not haunted.
Tour's over. No, I'm kidding.
So how long do you want to go? So these pictures are all the guys who've joined the Scottish Rite, which is the Masonic group that owns the building.
1993, okay.
And those go all the way back to the early 1900s. Most of those are in storage, but
wow, this is really cool, Randy.
so you can look here, you know, you get back 30, 40 years ago, we've had 300, 400, 500 guys coming in.
Look at the size of these.
And this is the auditorium where we just were. That's the corner. It's always in that same corner that we take the pictures.
Wow.
But I mean, look there.
1974, the year I was born. That's cool.
All right, we're gonna take a ride on the elevator.
Ooh, elevators are cool.
Hey, Bill, the original elevator one?
I think you should take the original.
We're taking, what does that mean, the original? So something tells me it's haunted.
Well,
I can tell by the doors. Look at those doors.
they're
I
actually.
feel like I'm in a Scooby-Doo episode.
So one of the ghost things that Bill and I could both tell you is we actually do have stories about the elevators at night. Sometimes they'll just start working on their own when there's nobody in them. And sometimes the maintenance guys have these.
They start working on their own, is that what you said?
Yeah, this one. It'll start moving and the doors will open.
Yeah, okay, that would creep me out.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but that does.
All right, great job last month. We did awesome, but we gotta keep the momentum going. We gotta sell some cars, and I got an idea. I'm thinking what we do is move our customers up a couple years in their vehicles and keep their payments close to the same. You feel me? Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Moving up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep the payments the same.
We got a new one.
Yeah, are you ever here at 2 a.m.?
I know.
Oh, because you saw that. That's
Yeah, so Facebook Live friends, this is pretty cool. Randy, I really do appreciate you taking the time to
sure,
show
you're
us. So we are in the more modern elevator, preferably. And, okay.
All right, let's go.
Why don't we turn the lights on?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Where's the light switching?
Cool, okay, much better.
So this is my favorite room.
This is your
that we're about to go into. So this is we call this the Templar room. Pretty much except for the carpet. I'm looking at Bill, our junior cameraman there. Except for the carpet, pretty much this room dates from the 20s when they built the building. Probably could seat 700 people or so if you put chairs on the floor. And when we rent the building for weddings, we actually turn this into a wedding chapel. So we actually do weddings up here. People have their reception downstairs, and we've had some good sized weddings in here, and they bring in the seats, and then behind there's some drops that look like a church, and it can look like a little
I don't know
wedding
if the camera gives this room justice. This is amazing. All the woodwork in here. I mean, I can't even imagine what this building would cost to rebuild. Just this room.
$2.5 million in the 20s. And I think we guesstimated just like...
Add a couple zeros?
I think we guesstimated like, what, Bill, 40 million?
40 to 50 million.
But that's just inflating the price if you could even get, I mean, who could do this kind of stuff? The woodwork today, it would probably cost you a multiple.
And it's just got a really, for those of you that are, I mean, it smells, not a bad smell, it's a cool smell. It's like you can just smell all the wood, and it just is really very cool. So this room is used now for weddings, but the way it's set up, it looks like almost like a courtroom or something.
So we do have Masonic groups that meet in here, but they meet here, a couple times a month. A lot of times it sits empty, but we do have, especially in the wedding season, so like April to October, we'll have sometimes a couple weddings a month in here.
Put all those seats up there.
Yeah, so if you put seats on the floor again, you could fit about 750 people in here.
Wow.
With a couple hundred on the sides.
All right.
300-400 upstairs, another couple hundred on the floor.
All right. New favorite room.
Now this is one of the places that's supposed to be haunted. And nobody knows who she's supposed to be, but people have seen a lady in like Victorian, early 20th century dress standing in that balcony singing. I've never seen or heard it.
Well, it's a little after 1. Hopefully she's at lunch. Let's get out of here before she
yeah, well, she's probably busy.
She's having a sandwich or something, hopefully. I don't need to see her.
Me neither. That makes two of us.
Angel, what's up?
Hi, Stephen. How are you today?
Well, I like coming and seeing you every once in a while. But this time I have a question.
Okay.
Not all of my customers are ready to buy a new car as much as I'd like them to.
Well, we can move them up a
couple years, keep their payments the same. Yeah, but in this case, they want to keep the car they have. But they ask me, how can they get better gas mileage?
Well, there's a few things we can do. One is always make sure you have a clean air filter. That is very important to the fuel mileage. 2, make sure your tires are pumped up to the correct air pressure.
Okay, so I can get a new air filter. That makes sense. And check the tire pressure of my tires, because that makes sense to improve my gas mileage. But there's got to be another way to get better gas mileage.
Well, there's also a few other things you can do. Number 1 is do a fuel system treatment. And what that does is we have the 3-part here for, I think it's $129.95. And what we do is we're going to put an additive in your gas tank, and that's going to start from the gas tank up to the front of the vehicle. We're going to go through, we're going to clean the injectors. We're going to clean the top part of your engine. And the reason we do that, I'll show you right here. This is what happens over time. And that is so true. You would not believe some of the messes we've cleaned up off of engines. This is a brand new one. And we want to keep it close to this as humanly possible. That's why we try to do the whole fuel system treatment. So we treat all of the system, not just one part of it. We clean out the throttle body, we do all that. In my car, I bought my car at 55,000 miles, and I have 227,000 miles on it. And I still get the same gas mileage I got when I bought the car, because I keep my fuel system cleaned out. And it's highly recommended to do that maybe once a year. And like I said, we can take care of it all in about an hour and a half for about $129.95, and you are good to go for another year.
Angel, thank you so much. I always love coming back here and learning new stuff from you about cars and things like that. You know, I like selling them, but I think it's kind of cool to fix them and do different things. So thank you. I had no idea that there was so much you could do to improve your gas mileage.
Definitely. And I'm glad you came back.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, is it the view that I see when I drive on 75 right there every day?
Yeah, it's kind of away from the other side. Yeah, we're going to that.
Oh, wow, that's what I was hoping to.
Every bride and groom wants to go out on that balcony. When we have proms in the building, we have to chase kids off the balcony because everybody wants to take a picture, especially at night. It's gorgeous.
Well, I would have to say that that's got to be one of the most famous spots in Dayton. I mean, most might not admit to it, but it's driving by and recognize it right away.
But ours is easier to get to. Whoa, come on out.
Wow, this is...
So here we are. Probably one of the prime, if not the best view of the city of Dayton around.
Dayton, Ohio. I love this town.
It's gorgeous at night.
This is going to be awesome. So the concert's going to be right down here on the grass, June 22nd, June 23rd. We're going to have some bands like The Menus, one of my personal favorites.
Yep, they'll be here on Friday night.
And then who else is going to be out? Well, anyway, there's going to be some really, really good bands, some tribute bands. So it's going to be, how many people are we expecting?
Well, you know, in the last couple of years, we've had a couple thousand, probably 2,000 to 3,000 people.
You know what?
This place fills up. It's a kind of river behind you. This is all full with food vendors, all kinds of food. They've got beer, vendors that come up. It's a great, great way to spend a Friday and Saturday. Weather like this, maybe a little cooler, would be nice, but...
You guys frown upon people coming here setting up lounge chairs and sunbathing? This would be a good spot. Although I'm a little nervous. This is
Yeah, this is not up to code today.
yeah, I'm a little
I don't like heights either. So.
yeah, that's just take a look at that. It's unbelievable.
I mean, who would build this today?
Yeah.
We would build this.
I mean, this, I don't know if you can tell. Look how big this is. It's concrete. It's just amazing.
If the zombie apocalypse comes, we know where to go.
This is, yeah. If the Walking Dead were to come to life, we're going to hang out here. We can build a moat around this thing so nobody can get us. So all the zombies would fall in the water.
So here's the other interesting thing to mention, which has a tie-in to cars, if you don't know this already. So we're sitting on the side of the Stoddard Mansion. I don't know if you know that name. Stoddard was a real affluent farm equipment guy in the late 19th century, but it was all steam powered, and he realized that, pun intended, the gas was out of that, so he switched to making cars. And so the first pace car of the first Indy 500 was a Stoddard racer. And
Wow.
They had abandoned this site and moved over to Oakwood when we built it, but this was their home for, in fact, he developed this whole hill, this Grafton Hill neighborhood. He was the guy behind turning this into kind of an upper class subdivision. And then the first race ever run there before it was the Indy 500 was won by one of his Stoddard racers. Ultimately, he went out of business because he couldn't compete with Henry Ford's mass production because everything they did was by hand. But you go to the Indy 500, there's a Stoddard car there in the museum because of its famous roll.
Right here in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, so this was his home up until the time we bought it from them. It was abandoned when we tore it down, but he had been here for some time and the family moved, but this was their home.
Awesome. Very cool. We're next.
Hi folks, Angel again here at SVG Chevy in Greenville to let you know about something GM's come out with. It's called the GM Buy Power Card. Some of you may have heard of it before, but what it does is it gives you 5% earnings back on the first $5,000 towards the purchase of a brand new car. And it also has unlimited earnings on purchases after that. But the biggest thing, the number one thing I think everybody should know is if you come in for service right now and you purchase, say, 4 tires that have a $100 rebate on them. It's the Bridgestone, the Goodyear, the Continental, Hankook, and Pirelli. Well, if you apply for a GM Buy Power card, they'll give you a $100 credit on your first statement plus the $100 mail-in rebate. So you're saving $200 on a set of tires. And if tires isn't what you need, you can also use that $100 on any of our service or parts or accessories. So the next time you come in for your next service or oil change, or if you just want to stop by, come on in. Either I or the service department can get you set up, or you can go to servicecardapply.com and check for the GM Buy Power card. Like I said, this is a great thing, and you get a credit on your first bill of up to $100, so you can get a lot of things done with that.
Well, where else could we go?
The lounge, you got the library.
Let's go down and see the lounge and the library. Those
Okay.
are probably the other two interesting places to
Yeah,
go.
I could spend all day here, but obviously, I gotta get back to selling cars. By the way, do you need a car?
I don't, but I know where to go when I need.
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you.
Hey, I understand.
What do you drive, by the way?
I drive a Toyota and a Ford.
Okay, close, but no cigar. Have you ever heard Chevrolet?
I have.
Chrysler, Dodge,
Yes, I have.
Cadillac?
I have. No, see, that one more. No Fords, huh?
No. Well, you know what? We sell Fords used. We like Ford. We like Toyota. We like them all.
Yeah, so let's stop here for a second. We call this the Rotunda. And when this place was built in the 20s, I know you don't want to hear this, people didn't drive cars like they drive today.
Yeah.
And so this was the front entrance, and that stair-step kind of terrace you see, those were steps. And it went all the way down the river here, and guys would get dropped off in front off the streetcar and the bus, or somebody would drive them in a car, and they would come up all those steps, and this was the main entrance.
Wow.
Really until probably 70s or so, when people really were, everybody had their own car, everybody was driving, and we moved the entrance to the back, where the parking lot is now. And the parking lot's a lot bigger than it was back then.
I don't know if the camera, and all this.
This is all marble.
This is all marble, guys. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, this is solid. Right here in Dayton, Ohio, this is a cool building. Randy, no joke, man. This is really neat. Modern or not?
So this is our library.
This is a library. This is a cool library.
This was one of the most recent rooms we've redone. This has always been a library, but one of our active members, his family wanted to honor him, and so they paid to have this room refurbished. The furniture is all original, but it's been recovered, refinished. That's an old newspaper.
This is really nice.
They actually used to print stuff on paper. I remind my kids, big paper things that you open up. And that's a newspaper stand. And so in the old days, we subscribed to newspapers, and members would come in and hang out and read a newspaper.
Take the paper and sit back in here. Could I smoke a cigar back then?
Probably you could, based on the amount of stuff on the wall that we had to
So what you
clean
been
off.
up to?
And they would smoke a cigar and read the paper and debate all life's problems and solve them here in the library.
Look at these old books.
And those are all from the early, most of those are from the early years of the
1800s,
library.
1869. Take a look at this. I don't know if the Facebook people can see this, but look at these books. 1883. I mean, these are real books, right?
Yep.
Read page one of them.
Here, just pull that one out, Steve. 1869.
Yeah, read the first
I'm afraid
page.
to pull it out and the page messes up.
Well, that's why I had you do it.
Oh, okay.
Because then it'll be your fault. You're a guest.
Wow, look at that. That is neat. I really do feel like I'm on an episode of Scooby-Doo. This is neat.
This is where you get that tap on the shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, put that book down.
Wait till you see what I look like under my mask.
Oh, boy.
As somebody who grew up on Scooby-Doo, I appreciate it.
Oh, I love Scooby-Doo. I particularly like Scrappy Doo.
Yeah.
You didn't like him?
I'm more an old school Scooby-Doo.
You just like you like the big dog.
Hi, I'm Brian Lloyd, and today on Tech Tips, we're going to talk about heat. Summer is right around the corner, and the temperature is definitely showing that. Just because winter is over and the cold temperatures are behind us don't mean you're in the clear on maintaining your vehicle. Summer heat can cause issues as well. Here's a few tips to maintain your vehicle in the summer months. Tip number 1, check your fluids. Each fluid has an important job to do inside the engine, whether it's lubricating or cooling. Out of all those fluids, oil is one, if not the most important one to keep your eye on. Not only does it lubricate your engine, it helps reduce heat buildup inside the engine, which can get even hotter with the sun beating down on it all day. Keeping your fluids at the proper level is just one step of keeping your vehicle running smoothly all summer. Tip number 2, keep your tires inflated. As we've covered in past tech tips, temperature can cause a fluctuation of air pressure in your tires. Driving on a hot road with underinflated tires can possibly cause the tire to heat up and cause a blowout with the tire. While filling your tires, it's always good to make sure your spare tire is also filled with the proper PSI. Also, inspect your tires for any kind of cracking or wear that could cause problems down the road. Tip number 3, check your AC. Your AC may be one of the most important items during the summer. Those really hot days can be brutal in your car, especially if your AC doesn't work. Nobody wants to sit in traffic on a hot day with the windows down and no air movement. So getting your AC inspected before summer gets into full swing can keep you cool while you're driving. And this is something we could check at all our SVG locations. Tip number 4, check your belts and hoses. Belts and hoses in your engine are crucial to the functioning of the engine. Excessive heat can cause cracking in the belts that run key components. These cracks can cause the belts and hoses to break and leave you stranded. It's always good to have them checked before the summer to make sure they're in proper condition. This is also something we can do at any SVG location. These are just a few tips to keep in mind while maintaining your vehicle. The heat can cause some serious issues for your vehicle. So it's always good to make your checks first to limit any surprises your vehicle may have for you. Once again, this is Brian Lloyd with another episode of Tech Tips. Stay safe out there.
There's 250 rooms, and we're going to hit 4 of them. That's exciting. There's just not enough time to be able to see everything. All seriousness, guys, if you get a chance. Now, can anybody come here and get a tour of the place? How does that work?
Yeah, so generally speaking, if people call and want to do a tour, we do those by appointment. And then we're actually getting ready in the fall to start doing some like premium kind of tours where we offer a little food and drink and bring people in on a free evening, and 20-30 people want to wander around and get a behind the scenes, see everything kind of tour. Because at 250 rooms, it'd take a couple hours.
Is that a ghost?
That is not a ghost. That's one of our biggest workers. Doug,
He's in there cleaning.
it was very much real.
Hi, Doug.
Say hi, Doug. Okay, so this is the lounge. This is where guys used to hang out. Also, they would sit in here and smoke. This is still essentially a lounge, but we do a lot of outside rentals. Today to stay open, we do weddings. We had a couple of graduations here last week.
I'm telling you, if you're thinking about a wedding or a party or something like this, I don't know any better place than this. I mean, in the Dayton area, this is amazing.
There's no building like this that's publicly rentable.
Wow.
And everything we've shown you so far is pretty much a rentable space for people that want to come in and do an event. And we have a ballroom downstairs. But this is actually one of the haunted rooms, which is why we ended here.
Yeah, let's head out. Nice to meet you. Well, Randy, thank you so much.
Are you ready to wrap up, or we can go to the ballroom? We probably got a lot of noise downstairs, so we'll probably wrap up here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Randy, this has been amazing, and thank you so much for taking the time, to give us a tour here.
Not at all.
Unbelievable space. I'm glad we came out. This is really neat.
Thanks for coming out. Come again.
Yes, sir, will do. And when you're ready for a car,
I know where to find you. Thanks.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks for watching another episode of SVG Motors Weekly. And if you haven't done it yet, go to youtube.com and subscribe to the SVG Motors channel. Or go to our Facebook page and like our page. And last but not least, if you want to see future episodes, go to your DVR and search SVG Motors and catch future episodes. Thanks again for watching.